Hey everybody. It is November 1st. If you're like me, maybe you appreciate the movie Coco and you're celebrating Dia de los Muertes. I'm sure I butchered that, but the Day of the Dead. Um, I became just a huge fan of that after watching the movie Coco. But anyway, that's where my thoughts were this morning. I wanted to put a quick video out there to talk about this week, and I do have next week's assignments up. I just want to kind of give you a heads up. This rhetorical analysis is tough. Okay, I just had someone in my morning class say, is this the hardest one we're going to do? Because this is really hard. And it is really hard. It just requires more than understanding. It requires analyzing. So you really have to read your article many times and start to take apart like why the writer did what the writer did. And it's really up to you to decide why they did what they did, but you have to support that. And that's what a rhetorical analysis is. So this week in your weekly folder, you have a lot of information here to collect just to understand what rhetorical triangle and rhetorical analysis is. And really do spend time here. It's going to help you really understand what the rest of the project is about. And then because I do want you to pay attention to that information, I'm asking you to summarize and put some notes on the discussion board. And please take some time to read what other people have. Maybe you missed something, or maybe they could word it a different way that you can understand it a little bit better. There are some parts out of the textbook, the critical thinking, because it will cause, or you will need to do some critical thinking for your rhetorical analysis. Here's our Project 3 handout with our guidelines and requirements. It also has a sample outline for you and a sample thesis statement for you that could be really helpful. And then finally in your journal, you're going to tell me why you picked the article you picked and why. What appeals to you about that? Do you have a personal interest, an experience with the topic? Are you just curious about it, or does it line up with some values that you have? So that's all due at the end of this week, which is Sunday, November 4th. Like I said, I do have next week's folder up. I just completed that this morning. So the week 10 folder is to ask you to summarize your opinion article. So that's the first step in a rhetorical analysis, is to be able to summarize what the article said. Notice there are some things that you need to do in your summary, and you can take a look through those. That, by the way, is in a journal. Your Project 3 pre-writing work, this is where the heavy lifting happens, is right in here. This is where you start to dive into the words and the sentences and the visuals that the writer of the opinion article used. Ask yourself, why all long sentences? Why a short sentence here? Ask yourself, why this word? Or why dashes instead of commas? There's lots of things to ask. Finally, this is just for your understanding. Here's some written samples of rhetorical analysis. This one on the top has some notes that is kind of really nice. It breaks it up into sections and tells you what the writer does in each section. These are video rhetorical analysis. This last one is really long, but to be honest, I kind of enjoyed it. And then finally, your week 10 discussion board is your outline. Be complete in that outline. That is going to require you to have a thesis statement. So be sure that you use the Project 3 handout to help you with that. And keep asking questions. Some of you are just keeping in contact really well and asking questions, and some I don't hear from you very often. So please just ask questions when they come up. All right, I hope everybody's doing well and you had a good Halloween. Celebrate the Day of the Dead today and remember your loved ones who have passed away. And I hope to hear from all of you soon.